Hey, welcome or welcome back to the channel. I'm Don, and today's video is going to be all about do's and don'ts of applying to MSW programs. Now, I'm going to do a two-part series to this video. The first one is definitely going to be just an overview, and then the second one is going to be more specific details about your personal statement. Before you get started, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification button so you can be notified of more videos like this, and be sure to share with a friend because I'm sure you're not the only person applying to MSW programs or graduate programs in general. You can still send this information to individuals in your community. Jumping right into it, the first thing that you should not do is apply to a program where you don't meet the requirements. Now, for MSW programs, generally speaking, I'd say that the GPA requirement, for instance, is a 3.0. Some is like a 2.7, and within those programs, some have conditional admittance, some have a no GPA requirement, but they may have like an average GPA. So in those cases, I definitely would say, well, in the case of the schools that have like a specific GPA cutoff, I would first and foremost advise you to make sure that you have the GPA requirement. If it says 3.0, if you don't have a 3.0 and they don't have a conditional admittance, or they don't have like an appeal process or an option for you to write an addendum, then don't apply to that program. The other clause that you can look for to get around that would be looking at seeing if the school, sometimes it's on the website, sometimes you have to call the institution. Either way, you can contact them and ask whether or not the GPA requirement is based on the last 60 credit hours or if it's the cumulative GPA. The cumulative GPA is going to look at every semester that you've been in college, and the last 60 credit hours is going to literally look at basically your last 2 years of college. And some institutions will only will configure your last 60 credit hours and use that as the requirement, because your first 2 years, they give a grace period, generally speaking, for students to get acclimated. And then the last 2 years, they're really looking to see, especially as you enter your major courses, they're looking for this upward trend. They're looking for stability, and they feel as though like, okay, this student's had 2+ years to figure out how to study, to figure out their learning style, to get used to the schedule differences and being on your own as a college student versus when you were a high school student. The second thing that you do not want to do is you do not want to settle. I've had a few clients now say, oh, well, I'm just going to apply to this program because of this, because of that. And it's like, wait, you only get one shot at pursuing your MSW. Once you start your program, generally speaking, you're not transferring institutions. If you transfer, chances are you're starting over. And once you obtain your MSW, I think you will be hard pressed of being able to obtain a second MSW degree. You'd really have to present a compelling case, like maybe you weren't at a CSWE accredited institution, and so you're now being granted this opportunity. So I think that it's definitely important to make sure that you are really diving deep into the options that you have for pursuing your MSW, whether it's in person or online. You want to make sure that you are uh, pursuing the best fit for you. It doesn't have to be the big brand name school. I'm so excited for one particular client of mine. They are pursuing their MSW degree and they are interested in school, social work, and working with neuro diverse populations. And I absolutely love the programs that they found. And there's one particular program that just is an excellent fit for them and their goals. And it's a state school. And I'm absolutely blown away. And I'm like, this has to be your top choice. You have to go here. But I just share that to say that like it's not about the name, it's really about the fit and based on your goals and things of that nature. And they have some really exciting things within school, social work, and particularly working with neurodiverse populations and diverse learners. The next thing you don't want to do is you don't want to wait until the last minute. That goes for asking for letters of recommendation. That goes for writing your personal statement. That goes for submitting things. You really want to try your best not to apply late. Now, I recognize some of you may be watching this today and like the deadline's Friday or something like that. Still submit your application, but I'm just saying, like, for those who may be in their junior year of college, or maybe you're in your gap year currently, this is, the earlier you apply to programs, the better chance you have of being admitted, but also the better chance you have of being offered aid. So financial aid, particularly aid that you don't have to pay back, like scholarships or grants or fellowship programs. So you definitely don't want to wait until the last minute, especially with drafting materials. I'd say that if there was like something that was like maybe the worst thing to wait the last minute for, I'd say honestly the letters of recommendation, because that's outside of your control. Like if your professor misses the deadline, there's nothing you can do about that. So you definitely want to ask in advance. Craft your personal statement so you can have multiple people read over it. Even for those who work with me, like I still advise for you to have other sets of eyes review it, whether it's a friend, whether it's a parent, or a valued person in your life. You also don't want to wait to request your transcripts to be sent to the school, or ensuring that you have access to unofficial transcripts if programs require the unofficial versus the official. I just went ahead and sent the official because I didn't have time for any funny business. I just was like, I'm just gonna pay for it, and that's going to be that. And I just ordered it to be sent by email. But again, and then also like finances. I mean, these schools cost money, so you don't want to wait to save your finances to be able to pay for your application, to be able to pay for your transcripts to be sent if you need to pay for them to be sent, and paying for any other thing that may come to mind, whether it's knowing that you may want to pay for your books out of pocket, or you may want to pay for your fees out of pocket. It's never too early to save, but it definitely can be too late. So you want to be intentional about that. The next one's going to be, don't fabricate your personal statements in your resume and your application. Programs are, it's not a computerized system. There's people reading your application. They will, if you are lying in your application, if you are talking things up in your application, people will pick up on it. They are trained to kind of pick out those nuances, especially like if you are talking about all of these things in your personal statement about what you did, and then like they review your resume and you have none of that on there. That's a red flag. And also, if you are discussing certain things about certain classes and you're describing yourself as a certain type of student, and then they read your letters of recommendation and those letters don't confirm what you are saying. You definitely don't want to lie. You don't want to fabricate because that can definitely catch up to you, and that will not work out in your favor. And there's nothing that myself or anyone else can do about that if you are caught in a lie. I'm sure I can go on and on about things that you don't want to do, but I'm going to stop there. So let's transition to do's. The first do is mention any red flags in your application. You know, if you got that D in that one class, you know if you was on academic probation, or if you received disciplinary action from your if you're a career changer, your previous career, or if you received disciplinary action at your institution. Maybe you were caught cheating and that resulted in some type of penalty. It's better if you mention it versus them reading your transcript and seeing it and there's no explanation. If you got the grade, even if grades are replaced, most times your transcript will show the semester that you failed it, and then it will show the semester that you passed it. So it's better to show those areas of growth and control the narrative versus leaving it in the hands of an admissions committee, especially if there's like disciplinary action, because that will definitely be on your transcript. And if they see that there and you're not trying and you don't explain it anywhere, then that's not good. And you can explain it whether it's in your personal statement or it's in what's called an addendum. Sometimes you're able to submit an addendum to your application, or there may be like a bonus question within the personal statement of like, if there's anything else that you think we should know, things of that nature, then you want to put it there. The next thing is you do want to be authentic in your application. You want to make sure that you are sharing your sincere interest, not what you think is going to get you into the program. With the push for being like a diverse and unique candidate, I think it can be very tempting to package ourselves in a way that may not be the most sincere. So I wouldn't recommend that. Instead, I'd recommend that you really lean towards your interest, that you lean towards what gravitated you towards the field of social work, and really allow yourself to showcase that passion, showcase that skill set, showcase your area of expertise and your area of commitment, because there is a place for you and you want to be admitted based on your sincere desires and not what you thought they were hoping to hear. Do your research about programs. You don't want to enter into a program and realize, oh, they don't have this or they don't have that. If you know you want to do schools, then you need to only apply to programs that offer that concentration. Believe it or not every program offers schools as a concentration. So you want to make sure that you're doing your research to ensure that there's the program concentration that you are interested in. Doing your research about the pricing. If you know that you are really wanting to stay within a certain price point for your MSW degree, I'm pretty sure my degree was like 13,000 a year. It was something like that. And so, which is relatively cheap for like a top 20 program. Um, so like if you know you want to stay within a certain price point of, oh, I don't want to go, worst case scenario, I have to take out loans, and I know I don't want to pay more than 30K for my degree, then you need to make sure that you're looking at tuition and fees, and you're including living expenses and all of that, and making sure that you are applying in a region and that you are applying to institutions that will allow you to achieve that financial goal, and continue to like apply that to every aspect within applying to a program, whether it's region, whether it's diversity of faculty members. I mean, these are all things that you have to take into consideration. You have to make sure that you are knowledgeable about. Do attend all informational sessions that they have. It does not hurt your application. At the very least, it does not hurt your application, but it's a great way to potentially save money. Sometimes when you attend, they provide free application waivers to the program. I know when I attended our school informational, it was really nice to connect with current students there. It was nice to connect with faculty members. It was also really nice to be able to apply for scholarships. So I was able to apply specifically for a graduate assistantship in the School of Social Work because I'd gone there. They had paper applications for us to complete. You best believe nearly every person there completed an application for it. So, like, just being there um, presents a greater opportunity for you to be selected. That's another thing. Do apply for all of these scholarship opportunities. Apply for all of the fellowship opportunities that's within your niche of interest. Apply for the certificate programs that's within your program, because all of these things are going to help. I think too often we are consumed and overtaken by imposter syndrome. The short rebuttal I have to that is that you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I'm going to encourage you to shoot your shot and to give it all that you have, and I always like to say, I should not deny myself. If someone else denies me, okay, that's on them. But if I deny me, that's on me. And I deny me of opportunities that I don't pursue. I deny me of opportunities that I don't give my all to. I deny me of when I don't ask for help. So these are all things that I would definitely encourage you to do. The last thing that I would encourage you to do is I would definitely encourage you to remain encouraged as you are embarking upon this application process. Some of you for the first time, others for the second time. Please know that You are worthy. There is a place for you, and I look forward to learning more about your discovery and trajectory to social work and finding the right program and the right fit for you. I know that I did not cover everything, so if you thought of something, or maybe you were advised something, or you've advised others some do's and don'ts to applying to MSW programs, if that's the case, please be sure to comment down below in the comment section. Again, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share with a friend, a colleague, your BSW students or undergrad students who may be in an intro to social work class. I'd love to be able to support anyone on their journey to applying and being admitted to an MSW program. Thanks so much for watching, and until I see you next time, be you, be great.